Hello, welcome to Radiant Resilience. I'm Tori. Today's video will be a slow flow yoga practice with some emphasis on triceps, core, and I will also be taking you through a little somatic release to release tension and holding patterns in the front of the torso that kind of causes you to round forward, as well as a lymphatic pump drainage routine. So reminder, keep yourself safe. Never do something that you know doesn't feel good for your body. You know yourself better than anybody else. And as far as props go, you'll want a block if you have a block. If you don't, then you could always use a folded up towel or blanket. At the end, we're going to be doing something that we want the hips a little bit elevated. And the other thing you might need is something to pad your knees when we're in a kneeling position. Okay, so we're going to start coming down to the floor and working your way into constructive rest pose. So your knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, arms comfortably from your sides with your palms facing up. And start out with a big sigh. Good, and we're going to do that again, and this time focus on relaxing your belly and your low back. And sigh one more time and let the shoulders relax to the floor. And then back of the neck lengthens out. Now just start to notice how the air feels on the areas of your skin that is exposed. And just make note, does the air feel cool or warm or neutral? And then notice the air moving through the nose as you breathe, and how the temperature of that air changes from your inhale to your exhale. And then bring your awareness to the sensation of the air moving across the back of your throat as you breathe. And then follow your breath down into your torso. Notice where your body is moving as you're breathing naturally. Does it feel like it's moving into your chest or your belly or somewhere in between? Does your breath move in the front or the sides or the back of the body? Just notice without attaching any sort of judgment to what you notice. And then we're going to start to breathe into just the belly. Let your belly rise and fall. When the belly moves, that means your diaphragm is moving more, bringing more air into the lower lobes of the lungs, massaging the organs, and stimulating the vagus nerve, which brings us into a more calm place, a rest and digest state of the nervous system. On your next inhale, after expanding into the belly, continue to breathe in and expand the lower rib cage. And then release from the rib cage down to the belly. And as you breathe into the ribs, feel them expand into the back as well as the sides and front. And on your next inhale, after filling up the rib cage, continue to breathe in all the way into your collarbones. And then release the breath from the collarbones down into the belly. And so now the breath is kind of moving more up and down through your body, but continue to expand sides and back as well. Breathing in the biggest breath you can take and moving through the most complete exhale that you can do. And after this next exhale is finished, one more sigh. Slide the arms to a T position. Inhale. As you exhale, twist one direction and let your head look the opposite way. Inhale through center, other side. Continuing. With your twist, exhaling as you go into the twist, inhaling as you move away from the twist or out of the twist. And then as you move into this next twist, stop there and sigh. And then the hip that's lifted, think of working that hip gently towards the foot end of your mat. So you're just creating a little more length through that side of the waist between the rib cage and the hip. If you feel any tugging in the knee, either you're pressing too hard, or if you flex your foot, sometimes that will take tugging out of the knee because you don't want to feel that in the knee at all. And then relax and go through the middle and over to your other side and sigh. And then the hip that's lifted, lengthen it towards the foot end of your mat and feel the side of the body lengthening there. And notice, take note, does it feel the same on this side or is it different? And then release and come back and just move through your twist side to side a few more times. And as you come back into center, knees coming into your chest, hands on your kneecaps, inhale, push knees away, exhale, pull knees in. Very gently working into the low back, moving the hips in this rocking motion starts to wake up the hips as well as your low back. And then knees coming in towards your chest, rocking side to side, or circling the knees in the same direction. If you're rocking, you can kind of experiment, having the knees closer to your chest or further away to get into any spots that need attention in your low back. And if you're circling, switch the direction of your circles. And then as you come back to center with the legs, open knees apart, circle them around, bring them back together. Hands are guiding this motion, moving into your full range of motion without going past a place that's comfortable. So you're not going into pain, and reverse your circles. It's okay to feel like there's some effort. Maybe you're exerting yourself or stretching into something that you don't usually feel, but you're not moving into pain. There's a difference between the two. And then as your knees go wide this next time, keep them in that wide position. You can either stay here with your knees really bent, or you can start to stack your feet over your knees into happy baby pose. Either way, if it feels right, you could rock. And then move back to center for a breath. As you release the legs, bring them back in. Hands come to the backs of your thighs. Flex your feet. Straighten one leg towards the ceiling and then switch. So you're just going to alternate bending and straightening. As you straighten the leg, really push out through your heel. And see if you can spread your toes out a little more. And then bringing both legs up towards the ceiling. Now you can reach the arms up and point and flex your feet, move through wrists. Palms are facing up, palms facing down, fingers and toes spread out. And as you point and flex the feet, let your toes be the last part to point and the first part to pull back into your flex. Okay, rotate the ankles and the wrists. And rotate the other direction. Flex your feet, spread your toes out, give your hands a shake. And then bend your knees back in. Place your right foot on the floor. You're going to keep your hand on your left knee. So left hand to left knee, and your arm is straight. And then you're going to bring your right hand to the back of your head. So remember I talked about we were going to do a little somatic movement that helps release holding patterns in the front of your torso that causes you to kind of be closed off and rounded through the front of the body. So this is what that is. So you're going to have the arm straight, hand on knee, other hand, right hand behind your head, and the right foot's on the floor. Now on your inhale, I'm going to just try to pull my shirt a little tighter. On your inhale, you're going to push your tailbone into the floor and come into a little arch. So your low back arches up off the floor. And everything's really open. The knee is pushing away and the arm is kind of gently pushing down. And then as you exhale, push the low back into the floor and do a little cross crunch. So your elbow and your knee cross over towards each other. And then inhale, knee pushes away, arm opens, little arch in the back. Exhale, low back down as you curl. So you're going to keep this motion really fluid. And again, you're not going so vigorously that this feels like it's too much effort. You want it to feel kind of watery and flowy as you move through this little sequence. Exhaling, lower back down as you curl. Inhale, open through the front of the body, little arch. And we'll do 2 more on this side. Curl up and open. And curl and open. Good. Place the foot down. Release both arms down by your sides, palms up. Big sigh. And just notice the backs of your shoulders connecting to the floor. Notice the ribs, the waist, and the hips, and how it feels. And if there's differences from your right and your left side. Okay, now we're going to do the same on the other side. So left hand behind your head, left foot on the floor. Right hand to the right knee, and the right arm is long. Inhale, low back pushes down, arch your back up, tailbone pushes down, low back lifts into an arch. And then exhale, low back down, and we're going to cross over. Inhale, open the front of the body, little arch. Exhale, curl everything in. Continue with your breath. And again, you're not going into something that feels like you're really pushing it. You want to feel watery, flowy, and bringing as much ease into this movement as you can. All right, so let's take 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl. 1 more, open and curl. And then come back, both feet on the floor, arms down by your sides. Big sigh. And then check in how your body is connecting to the floor again. Shoulders, ribs, waist, hips. And if you did notice some unevenness, if that has maybe evened out now, or at least moved in that direction. Okay, so from there, slide your arms down by your sides, shoulders press down, palms are up. Breathe in. As you exhale, you're going to curl. You push your low back down and curl the tailbone and the hips up off the floor. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to come up a little higher so the waist lifts. Working into bridge, you stop when you get to your edge. Another breath in, and as you exhale, come up a little higher. So now you're feeling the low ribs come off. And then finally, on this next exhale, work into where your full bridge is. Only going up to comfort. Tailbone is nice and long. Arms are pressing down into the floor to lift up through your heart. And then you're going to keep the upper arms pressing down as you bend your elbows. Now we're going to work into the upper back strength and shoulder rotation for posture. So you're going to inhale, open the forearms out. So it's like you're trying to press the backs of the forearms and hands down into the floor. If you don't touch the floor, just go as far as you can, pressing down strongly, and then inhale back up. Exhale, open out. Inhale back up. So as you're rotating the shoulders, nothing sharp. And you're going to keep going, just a few more tailbones, nice and long. So we're working posture muscles, shoulder rotation. At the same time, we're working the strength of the legs, the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes, and opening the front of the hips and chest. All right, one more time. Open and bring them back, and then lengthen the arms back out. Deep breath in. Exhale, shoulder blades roll down. Breathe in. Exhale, rib cage comes down. Inhale. Exhale, the waist releases. And this last exhale, the hips come down. Take a big sigh. Breathing in. Exhale, knees coming into your chest. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bring your forehead up to your knees and squeeze your knees in, bringing yourself into the tightest, tiniest ball that you can get into. And then release that. Place the feet down on the floor. Reach the arms up over your head as you lengthen out your legs. Inhale, stretch out through the whole body. Exhale, relax into the floor. And then inhale, stretch just the right side of the body. The left side is relaxed. Exhale, release. Inhale, left side. And release. And then walk your hands and your feet wider so your body is creating an X. And one more time, stretch out through all four limbs in this wider position. Exhale, relax. From there, walk your feet back into where it feels like a natural width. Right knee comes into your chest for a hug. If this is tugging on your low back at all, slide your left foot to the floor. Taking a sigh. And then lengthen back out and bring the other knee into your chest and take another sigh. Slide the right foot to the floor, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, flex your foot, and then press the left thigh open with your hands up by your hip crease. So we're opening in the front of the hip groin area. This area can get kind of congested from being in a bent position from sitting a lot, and that will also inhibit the flow of the lymphatics from the legs up to the heart. All right, and then let that press go, coming into figure four pose. So you can keep your right foot on the floor. You could bring it up onto a block or bring your right knee up to your chest, hands around the thigh or even over your shin. And then you're gonna rock side to side. Left foot is flexed for a stable knee. And then moving the legs towards the right until you find where you're gonna stop, where it's the right amount of intensity for you, and just take a few breaths right there. Okay, releasing, coming into figure four on the other side, right ankle over left thigh. First, we're going to press the right thigh open with the hands up by your hip crease, flexing the right foot. Release that press open, left foot on the floor or a block, or bring the knee up, hands behind the thigh or over the shin, and rock side to side. And then going towards the left to find where you're going to stop and breathe there. As you release, both knees come to the chest, do a little rock side to side, and then we're going to work onto the side, laying down. I'm going to scooch back just a little bit. Now you're going to take your bottom arm and hug your waist with your bottom arm. Top hand is going to be on the floor right in front of your shoulder. Now, a couple of leg options. You can have your legs long, you can have your legs bent, or you can have the bottom knee bent and the top leg long, okay? So, starting with the arm. So we're working our triceps here, pushing into the floor as you press up. A little easier on the waist as you're working the arm. Now, if you want to on the wrist as you're working the arm. If you want to work the waist, then and the side of your thigh and your glutes, you can start to lift the top leg as you press up. So you can do that with both legs long, or you can do it with your bottom leg bent. That's a little easier, a little softer. All right. You're going to continue. Is your arm getting tired? Mine is a little bit. Okay, the next time we press up, we're going to hold, make sure you're breathing. And before you release down, release your bottom arm so that it's supporting your head as you come down. And then we're going to lift the legs up together. You can keep the upper body where it is, or you can come up a little higher. And then we're going to scissor the legs forward, and one goes forward, the other goes back. Okay, and then come down, both knees bend, top knee hugs into your chest, slide the hand down your shin to your foot, bring the leg back as you scoop in the navel and lengthen out your tailbone. So as you're coming into this, we're opening the hip flexors and the quads, but we don't want to feel it in the knee. So you can feel it in the center of the thigh and up. If you feel it in the knee, change where the leg is. Bring the leg forward or back, or lift it up or down a little bit, but make sure you're not tugging into the knee. And we'll take just a few more breaths right there. And then as you release, give your top knee another hug. Roll onto your back, do a little rock, and then we're going to go to the other side. So you can just roll all the way over, or you can flip around. As you're getting set up, your bottom arm hugs your waist. Top hand is in front of your shoulder. And remember, legs can be long, bottom knee can be bent, or both knees bent. And then we're going to push up. Start just with the arm, just to let your arm get used to this motion. And then if you're going to add the outer thigh, glutes, and waist, you're going to bring the top leg up. Exhale as you push into the floor. Inhale as you release down. And when you release, try to release slowly and with control. So you're working the arm in both directions. Even though this is my dominant arm, it doesn't feel as strong in this particular position. All right, let's do two more. As you come up this next time, pause, breathe. And then release the top arm as you come all the way down. All right, now we're going to lift the legs up together. You can lift the upper body if you want. Scissor the legs forward and back, alternating. One goes forward, the other goes back. Good. And then bend both knees, release down. Top knee gets a hug. Slide your hand down to your foot and bring the leg back. Checking in, not feeling it at your knee. Lengthen out your tailbone and scoop in the navel. All right, and then give your top leg another hug. And then we're going to press our way up into a seated position. So if sitting on the floor is challenging for you, you can always bring a cushion or a bolster or a blanket underneath your hips. And then once you're there, roll your shoulders up, back, and around. Now use your shoulders separately. So it's like you're doing the backstroke with your shoulders, and really let your rib cage move at the same time. On your next inhale, take a shrug. And then exhale, push the palms down, lift up really tall through your head, and then drop your chin down to your chest and sigh. Slide the chin over to your right collarbone. And then through center into the left collarbone. Back to center, head rolls, ear to the shoulder, forward, other shoulder. Keep going with this a few more times. Check in, make some space between your upper and lower teeth so that your jaw is relaxed, and then keep your head over to the right and nod your head, a few little easy, gentle head nods. Stop for a sigh. And then go forward. Other shoulder, head nods on this side. And then stop and take a sigh. And bring your head forward, chin to the chest, breathe in. Exhale, head comes up. Inhale, sweep the arms up, interlace your fingers, press your palms up, let your shoulders lift up, and then let your shoulders drop down. Bend your elbows, turn your palms to face your head. Keep your head really upright as you move the arms side to side. And then back up, reach the arms up, breathe in, exhale, right hand to the floor, leaning to the right. So now we're going to be rotating the arm in big circles. So most vigorous is the straight arm, little softer with a bent arm, and finally you could do hand to the shoulder and do elbow circles instead. But you're just going to do some nice big circles, working through your range of motion in your shoulder, and then go the other direction. Okay, now the next time the arm is kind of reaching towards your right knee, you're going to stop there, reach out beyond the knee to what feels like the right amount for you, and then come back up. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, come down onto your left hand, reach to the side, and then moving into your arm circles or elbow circles. Noticing if the side feels different or the same as your first side, and then reverse your circles. And then the next time the arm is reaching out over that right knee, or so your left knee, reach out. And then come back up. Both hands to your knees. On your inhale, bring your chest forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, round through your back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, round one more time. Inhale, forward. And round. Good. And then come back into a neutral spine. Now we're going to go into that lymphatic pumping. So we're going to start with your two fingers like this, or your four fingers in two pieces. And we'll just start on one side. So you're going to go above and below your collarbone and just, we're going to opposite hand to the shoulder, and you're just going to pull in. So you're going to work from your shoulder in towards center, and your fingers are above and below the collarbone as you're pushing in and dragging. So up in here, that's our main lymphatic drainage area. And we're going to open that first before we go to the outer part of the lymphatics, because we want the main area to be open so that the outer parts of the lymphatic system have a place to go when they're draining. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. And you don't have to push down very hard. It can be very gentle. Okay. Now, after doing that, we're going to come just above the collarbones to the side of the neck, and you're just going to push in as you drag down. Push in and drag towards the heart. Good. And now you're going to go just below your earlobe and behind your jaw, and push in and draw down. Push in and draw down. And this is where the lymphatics from the brain release down and drain in towards the heart. Okay, now we're going to go to find that crease of your armpit kind of in the front of the chest, and you're going to just push in and drag in. Push and drag. Push and drag. Okay, and then we're going to go to the crook of the elbow, same thing. Push and drag up towards the heart. And the lymphatic system doesn't have its own pumping system. Okay, and then we're going to go to the other side, right in front of the armpit, push and drag. It relies on muscle contraction from our movement. That's why yoga is one of the greatest things for lymphatics, because we pretty much work through the whole body and get things moving. And then go to the crook of the elbow and move up. But any type of movement is good. That's why when you're like traveling and you're kind of stuck in the same position, you can't move around, a lot of times your legs will swell. So our body needs that movement. All right, now we're going to start to work down in towards the lower extremities. So the main, it's called the cisterna something, and it's the main place where all of the lymphatics from the lower extremities come into before it gets dispersed to the heart. So that is, if you find that little triangle area where your ribs meet your breastbone, so you're going to come into that triangle area and you're just going to push up, in and up. And sometimes this can feel kind of, I don't know, it can feel kind of icky. So you don't want to push too hard, but you're just going to be gentle, pushing in and up. And just make note of how it feels right now. And then we'll come back to it after we work down into the legs, and you might notice it feels a little more comfortable. Okay, now we're going to go to the legs. So you're going to start with one leg and you're going to find that crease of your hip, and we're just going to work all along that hip crease. So you're going to push in and glide up, in and glide up, and you can work in closer to the groin and a little bit further out to the side. Okay, and then we're going to go behind the knee. So you're going to start below your knee joint, across the crease, and just above, sliding as you gently press in and slide up. And then finally, we're going to go to the ankle area. So you think of those, the bones that protrude as your ankle bones, you're going to be just behind and below those. So that soft area on each side of your Achilles tendon, you're going to push in and glide up. Okay. Now we're going to go to the other hip, starting there, pushing in, gliding up. And the other thing that's really good to do for the lymphatic system is dry brushing or Garshana. And you don't have to be really aggressive with that. It can be very gentle brushing. You can even do it with your hands. All right, and then we're going to go behind the knee, working up the leg. And then finally, you're going to go to the ankle. You don't have to do it for a very long time, maybe like 3 to 5 little pumps. And then we're going to go back to that space between the ribs and push in and up and see if it might have a little more ease or comfort to it. And then just to make sure that main area is still flowing well, we're going to come right up here and just pump right in at the side of the neck, just above your collarbones. And then glide in at the chest a few more times. Good. And then shake out the arms, bring your hands to your legs, and take a big sigh. Okay, we're going to work and start to move a little bit now that we've got things flowing in the lymphatics, coming into table pose. Patting your knees if that's needed. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, round your back, moving into some cat-cows. Inhale, arch, and continue. Round and arch. And again, round and arch. And then as you work to a neutral spine, working into puppy pose, walking the hands forward, trying to keep the arms straight as you drop the heart and keep the hips up. So we're melting into the heart, but lifting the outside edges of your shoulder blades up. If you feel like you want a deeper shoulder stretch, work onto your fingertips with your palms facing up, or palms lifting up, and you're just on the fingertips. Big breath in. Exhale, hips go back towards your heels. Slide the arms down by your sides. Child's pose, you might rock right here. And then center everything and sigh. And then arms stretch forward. Inhale back up to table. Breathe in. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, arch. And then exhale back into puppy pose, or this time you might work up into a down dog. And you're going to pedal the feet if you come into down dog, pressing all the surface of the hand into the floor, lifting your sits bones high. And then both heels drop down, taking a sigh here. And then to table and back to child's pose. And sigh again. So we're going to do one more of that sequence. You decide whether you want to do puppy pose or down dog for this one. Inhale up to table. Exhale round. Inhale arch. Exhale puppy pose or down dog. Inhale back to table. And exhale child's pose one more time. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Up to table, little push-ups. So you're going to bend your elbows and straighten. As you bend your elbows, you're going to keep them in tight towards your torso. So you're trying to squeeze your rib cage with your arms as you bend the elbows. You don't have to bend them very far. It's more important to keep the elbows pointing straight back. We'll do one more. Good. And then walk your hands forward. Roll your way down to the floor. Bring your forehead to the mat. Slide your arms down by your sides, palms facing down, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together so your shoulders will lift up off the floor then. We're going to keep the chest and the forehead down, lengthen your tailbone, scoop in the navel, work your glutes, lift one leg up, and stretch it as strongly as you can behind you. Bring it down. Notice, does it feel longer than the other one? Well, same thing on the other side. Lift up, stretch it back, lower it down. Re-engage glutes if you started to lose them, and then bring both legs up. Squeeze the feet together. Open feet wide. So notice I don't have my legs up very high. Squeeze and open, but you want to feel long. And squeeze and open. One more time. Squeeze, open. Back to neutral. Take a breath in. Let it out. Releasing all the way down and sigh. All right. Now, coming up onto your elbows. We're going to work our way into plank. So your forearms are parallel to each other. Curl your fingers in and turn your thumbs up. And then walk your legs into the right width for you. You can stay on knees as you lift your way into plank, or you can tuck your toes under and lift up that way. Broaden through your collarbones. Pull your elbows towards the back of the mat. Breathe smoothly and press the base of your skull straight up towards the ceiling. One more breath. And then drop the hips back down. Release the toes. Feet are about mat width apart. Keep the thumbs lifting up. Lengthen your tailbone. Scoop in your navel. Engage your glutes. Pull your heart forward as you slide or glide your head back. And breathe right there. Good. Release. Hands on underneath the forehead. Wiggle your hips side to side. Bend the knees. Move your feet side to side. Legs go long, big sigh. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press your way up to table and back into child's pose. Big sigh here. Okay, so now we're going to work at some thoracic rotation, which is the upper back. I'm going to show you 3 options. The first option is to come back onto your forearms and your elbows are kind of by your knees. And we'll be having one hand behind the head and opening and closing the elbow. If this isn't comfortable for you, come forward to table on your forearms. Same action with the arm, or you can even do this all the way up on your hands. So choose the option that's feeling best for you. Right hand comes to the back of your head. Inhale the elbow up. Exhale the elbow down. And up and down. Up, down. This time as you come up, lift the elbow up and just pause there and breathe nice and deep. And then relax back to both forearms or both hands, depending on your choice. And then we're going to go to the left side, hand behind the head. Inhale, elbow up. Exhale, elbow down. And up and down. Up, down. And this time lift and hold and breathe. Good. And release down. Come back up to table. Breathe in. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, arch. One more. Round and arch. Good. Coming back to neutral, walk your hands to the left. Bring your right foot to the right. And then bring your hips forward. As you bring your hips forward, you can always be up on a block too with your hands if you'd like. As you bring your hips forward, you want knee over ankle. And then bring your hands to your front leg. Now push your front foot into the floor, move your hips back, and then work your left glutes. So the glutes of your back leg. Really work those glutes and then bring your hips forward, continuing with that engagement. And then left arm comes up, right arm might work up, and breathe right there. From there, bring your right hand back to the floor, or back to your front leg. Bring your left hand down to the floor, the block. Lengthen out through your spine. Twist to the right. Right arm stretches up. And then right hand comes down to the floor to the inside of your right foot. Feel the knee and the arm pressing into each other as you lift your left arm up. Hand comes down. Lengthen through your spine, back toes tuck under, lift your back knee up. Bend the knee to the floor and straighten it. Dip it down, straighten. 2 more, down, up, down, and up. And then you can either drop the knee and step back to table, or you can step your front leg back to a plank. Breathe. And then back to table. Walk your hands to the right. Bring left foot forward. Hips come forward, stack the knee over the ankle. Hands to your front leg, lift your chest, move your hips back. Now really work your right hip or your right glutes. Really engage them as you come forward. And then right arm comes up. Breathe, maybe the left arm. Good. Left hand comes down, right hand comes to the floor. Lengthen through the spine, twist to the left, left arm stretches. And then bring your left hand down to the inside of your foot. Leg and arm push into each other as you reach your right arm up. And then right hand comes down, back toes tuck under, lift the back knee up. Bend it, straighten it. Bend, straighten. 2 more, bend, straighten. Last one, bend and straighten. Now we're going to come into a wide forward bend. Walk your hands to the right. Turn your toes forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Nice deep breath right here. And then come back up to that halfway point, little bend in your knees. Ease your hands up to the tops of your thigh bones. Push the thigh bones straight back, lengthen out through the crown of your head, creating a little bit of traction in the spine, decompressing the spine. And then hinge up. Turn your right toes out, bend the right knee, finding your warrior two. And now we're going to place the hands behind your head. Use your thumbs to pull the base of your skull up and lengthen the back of your neck. Keep your chest really open. Breathe in. Exhale, lean right. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean left and center. We'll do 2 more each direction. Over, up, over, up. Last time. Over, up, over, and up. And then reach the arms out, drop the shoulders, crown of the head is stretching up. 1 more breath right here. Bring your right hand or elbow down to the thigh, and then the left arm sweeps to the floor in front of you, crosses in your front of your face, and stops next to the side of your head, rolling the shoulder open. Stretch out through your left side from your fingers down to the heel. Now we're going to come into some lawnmower arm pull. So you're going to take the left hand towards your right foot. Breathe in, exhale, big exhale, pull the elbow back. 3 more. Stretch, pull, stretch. Last one. After that last pull, stretch your top arm straight up. Right arm stretches down and it's going to float. Arm presses into the thigh to open it up a little bit. And then press the ball of the right foot down into the floor as you straighten the right leg, coming into your triangle pose. Looking down, straight or bent leg to come up. Release the arms, toes are forward, shoulders roll. Other side, turn left toes out, bend your left knee, finding your warrior two position with your legs, stretching up through the crown of your head, hands go to the back. Lift the base of the skull up, open your chest, breathe in, exhale, lean left, inhale up, lean right, and up, over, up, and over, up. 1 more time, each direction, over, and over. Center, arms come out, glide your head back, press the crown of your head straight up, breathe right here. Left hand or elbow comes down to the thigh, right arm to the floor in front of you, stopping next to the side of the head. Stretch out through your right side, breathe. All right, lawnmower arm with your right arm, reaching down to the left foot, breathe in, exhale, pull. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Good. Arm stretches up. Bottom arm stretches down. Press into your leg. Using leg strength, core strength. Now press the ball of your left foot down into the floor strongly as you straighten the left leg, coming into triangle pose. Straight or bent leg, come up. Turn the toes forward, adjust your foot width again, and then work your toes out to an angle. Inhale, stretch arms up. Exhale, down to goddess pose. Breathe right here. Dropping the tailbone, scooping the navel in, working your knees back so you feel your glutes working to do that. And then hands to the insides of your knees. Knees push back, chest comes forward. Breathe right here. Spine stays long with your hips going back, your chest forward. Bring your hands down. Straighten the left leg as you bend your right knee. And then switch to the other side. Going back to the first side, as you bend the right knee, walk your hands to the right a little bit so the hands stay under your shoulders. Stay on your left hand, reach your right arm up. Bring the right hand down, shift to the other side. Walk the hands over, hips going back, chest is lifted, stay on right hand, left arm stretches up. Bring the hand back down. Now we're going to work into lunge facing the front of the mat again. So you're going to walk your hands to that front, lift your back heel and step up. Heel toe your feet out a little wider than your shoulders. Bend your knees hanging in a rag doll, cupping elbows, or you can do elbows or hands on your thighs with a straight spine and your head hanging. Big sigh. Maybe swing a little. Back to center for a breath. Hands come to thighs, shoulders slide away from your ears, back of the neck as long as you shake your head no. And then nod yes. And head hangs again. Arms are going to help with this next part. Deep breath in. Exhale, coming up halfway with a flat back. Breathe in again. And then exhale, roll your way up. Shoulders going up, back, and down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and sigh. Good. Eyes open. Walk your feet underneath your hips. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, drop the shoulders down. Inhale, lift the heart up. Breathe in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Slide the hands up the legs if you need to. Exhale, come back down. Fingers going back. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, stretch up all in one motion. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, lower back down. Fingers going back. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart and sigh. All right, as we come up, I'm just going to turn forward so you can see. We're going to do a little balance thing called, I call it the tightrope. So you're going to bring your right foot in front of your left foot. A little more weight on your back foot. Squeeze the legs together. And you can try the balance trick of pressing the tongue into the roof of the mouth, finding some place to focus that's not moving. And we're just going to hold right here. Notice all those little adjustments that you're having to make to stay balanced here. If this feels really easy to you, you can try to close your eyes as a progression. The other thing you can do is to stand on a less stable surface, like you could have some folded up towels underneath you, because as we age, around 35, we start to lose balance. Okay, and then go ahead and come out, shake it out. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side. So you're going to cross the left ankle over right, or left foot is in front, and then heel to toe. Squeeze the legs together, maybe push the tongue into the roof of the mouth, find your focal point. So as we, at around age 35 is when balance starts to decline. However, if you use it, if you practice it, you can maintain or you can even rebuild. And so balance is important to practice all the time to prevent falls as we age. And you can progress to that that less stable surface, or you could try to close your eyes. And then go ahead and step out of it. Shake it out a little bit. And then as you're coming back to your standing mountain pose, Tadasana, bring your feet so that they're right next to each other. And then inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, lower down, fingers reach back. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms can either stay reaching up or you can bring hands together at your heart as you come into your chair pose. If you're kind of in between, so heart, reaching forward or reaching up. Tailbones long, weight is in your heels, scoop in the navel, open through the crown of your head, or through the front of your chest. Pushing up through the crown of your head. Breathe right here. And then we're going to bring the arms down and back. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lengthen out the back of your neck, palms are forward. And then bend your elbows, and then as you straighten, squeeze the backs of your arms. Bend, squeeze, bend, squeeze, bend, squeeze. One more, and squeeze. Good. And then we're going to come forward, lengthen the legs out. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, come down. We're coming into perch pose. If your knees don't like this or your feet don't like this, you're going to come down to seated. Otherwise, squeeze the legs together, drop the hips, heels come up as you lift your heart. And we're going to flow with that. Come forward and come down. Forward, down. One more time. Forward and down. Good. As you come down, squeeze the legs together. Maybe challenge your balance. Hands to the heart. Release hands down. Release hips down. Coming all the way down. So now, hands behind your knees. Toes touching the floor. Open out through your chest. Squeeze the legs together. Reach your arms forward. Breathe. Lean back. Exhale. On your inhale, come forward and open your chest. Exhale, back, hands together. Inhale, open. Back, open. One more time. Back and open. Good. Release hands down. Release the feet. Now, we're going to want our block close by. We're going to come into a modified fish pose. So you're going to take your elbows onto the elbows and come as close together with your elbows as you can. Push your elbows down, lift your heart, press the tongue into the roof of your mouth, and with your eyeballs, look up as you start to drop your head back. If that's not comfortable for your neck, you're not going to do this part. Good. And then release and roll yourself all the way down to the floor. Arms out to a T. Cross the right ankle over your left. Actually, let's bring your feet out just a little wider. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And then we're going to twist to the left. So as you twist and the foot is on the leg, it creates a little extra stretch along the outer hip and thigh. If that is not comfortable, take your foot off your leg and bring it to the floor instead. Look over your right shoulder and take a sigh. And then bring your head to center and bring your legs to center. Feet stay wide. Cross right ankle over left thigh and twist right. Look left. Now, if you feel any tugging in your knee, maybe take the foot off of the leg or flex your bottom foot, and that helps stabilize the knee. If that doesn't take care of it, then move the foot off the leg and take a sigh. Good. And then come on back up. Release. Now we're going to use our block. If you don't have a block, you can use that folded up blanket. You want it to be fairly uniform across the low back though. So if you're using your block, it's going to be low height, or you could do medium height. I don't recommend doing the highest height unless you're up against a wall. Okay, so low or high, I'll show low. And you're going to bring it across your low back. As you set your not across your low back, across your hips. As you set your hips down, check if you need to move the block up or down a little bit to feel comfortable. And then arms down by your sides. Walk your shoulder blades in towards each other, just like you would in bridge pose. Press the arms and the shoulders down, and then bring your knees up. And then we're going to take the legs up. So we're in a half supported shoulder stand. As you reach the legs up, you want them to be active. So they're not just hanging out there. You're stretching them up as you lift your heart up. So not only is this a very calming pose, great to do before bed, but it's also really good for the lymphatic system to help the lymphatics from the legs drain up. And you'll just take a few breaths right here, keeping the heart lifted, and then bend the knees. Now, as you bend the knees, bring your right knee into a hug and set your left foot down on the floor. Now, if you were on a medium height, you're going to go to low height now. If having height underneath your hips doesn't work for you in this next one, you're just going to do this flat on the floor instead. So you're going to bring your right knee into your chest, and then you're going to work at keeping the left heel on the floor as you start to lengthen out the left leg, pushing out through the heel. Right knee stays in tight to your chest. And then finally, you could reach the left arm up by the side of your head and stretch out from your heel to your fingers on your left side. Good. And then hands back to the knee, slide the left foot to the floor, and then bring your left knee into your chest. Other side, holding the left knee into your chest, set the right foot down. And then start to lengthen right leg. Heel stays on the floor. Push out through the heel as you get to a straighter position. And then finally, you could reach the right arm up by the side of your ear and stretch out through your right side. And then both hands to the left knee. Slide your right foot back to the floor. And then bring your right knee into your chest. Now, if you have a really dense block like a cork or wood block, it might be too hard on your back and you might need to come off your block. But if you're in a foam block like me, bringing your knees into your chest up on this block can feel really nice. So that edge of the block is pressing into the top edge of your hips. A lot of little trigger points and connection points there. It can feel really good. Just kind of massage it out with a few rocks. And then back to center for a breath. And then placing the feet down, move your block to the side, set the hips back down on the floor, back into constructive rest pose, just the way we started, and take a sigh. And then we're going to get ready for our Shavasana. So you can stay right here in constructive rest pose and just let the knees drop in towards each other to prop each other up. If it feels better to come into a seated position or onto your side, go ahead and do that. Or you might feel okay to lengthen your legs out. Whatever position you've chosen, once you've made all those little adjustments and you're really settled and comfortable, give yourself a few sighs. Each one of those sighs, just relaxing a little more completely. Starting down at your feet, relax your toes, your soles of your feet, tops of your feet, the ankles. Let go of the calves. Relax your knees and your thighs. Relaxing the whole legs. And relaxing the hips, the glutes, the front of the hips, low back, waist, belly, the rib cage, all around the rib cage. Soften it and just let the breath flow easily, creating that gentle movement in the ribs and the torso. Front of the chest and the shoulders open and release. Upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers, relax. The neck is neutral and relaxed. And let go of any tension in the lips, the tongue, and the jaw. Softening the eyelids, the brow, and the forehead. And release any tension that you might be feeling in your scalp. Every inhale drawing in prana, life force, energy. Every exhale letting go of tension, stress, worry, or anything else that might be holding you back or not needed. Grounding your system, restoring, recharging, and integrating the benefits of your yoga practice. And breathe into your belly and let it go. Breathe in belly, low ribs. Let it go. Breathe in belly, ribs, upper chest, biggest breath you can take. And fully let it go. And when you're ready, start to bring movement back into your body. And if you are lying down, bringing yourself onto your side for another sigh. And from there, pressing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Once you're seated, bring one hand to your chest and the other hand to your belly, tuning back into your breath. Feeling the movement of the torso as you breathe. And I'm going to share a little quote from you from author Rachel Marie Martin. There is a powerful moment when you exhale and let go of what once was, and inhale and embrace the wonder of what will be. Exhale and let go of what once was. Inhale and embrace the wonder of what will be. Hands stay here as you take another sigh. And then bring hands together at your heart, bowing your head towards your heart center, your divine light, and thanking yourself for your practice today. And I thank you for allowing me to share it with you. It's always an honor. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.